Now there are other choice questions other than just multiple choice. If we actually go to more, there are some other features here. The one I like the most is ranking. So ranking, you can actually put multiple different options, and then your participants actually have to put them in order from top or best to the bottom, which is the worst. So my question is, which is your favorite building to have a class on campus? So it doesn't look anything too crazy, but if I go to test, I can actually see what my students see. It's not a drag. You use the arrows to move them higher up or lower in your rankings. When I'm all done, I'm going to hit submit response. Now the instructor can see the most wanted and least wanted. Always remember to clear your responses after doing a test. Otherwise, if I go to response history, I can see that my test recorded a response. If you want your students to compete in class, make it a little bit more fun, you can click on competition. Here you create multiple choice questions that give scores out based on correct answers and how quick you were to choose those answers. I actually already have one built up on NU Facts as an example. As you can see, the competition visually looks a little different than a regular multiple choice question. What's nice is you're able to assess multiple MCU type questions, and like multiple choice, you can add pictures and choose a correct answer. You are limited on the competition settings. Feel free to toggle on or off certain settings and even adjust the timer. Now I'm going to play this activity, which is going to activate it, and most likely you're going to want to clear previous responses. Otherwise, you're going to have old participants show up on the leaderboards. Something important to note is that this has to be a synchronous activity, because when I move along with the arrows, the participants are forced to follow along on their screens. So it's going to come up with the question, what year was Niagara University founded? And I'm going to pull up one of the participants' screens, and it only shows the question. They can't answer it until I move on to the next one. Here they're presented the choices, and on their screen they're going to be able to choose one. Because I toggled that they can change their answer, they have either until the timer's up or I move on to the next slide. And when I move on to the next slide, it shows what is the correct answer and the percent of people that chose that answer. As a participant, it tells them correct, and based on how quick I was, determines how many points I get. So right now, Peter Parker is in the lead. Tony Stark got the question wrong, and that's why he got 0 points. Here's the second question, and again, they can't answer until I move on to the next slide. Now I'm presented my choices. As a participant, I'm going to answer. And you can see how many people have answered in the top right. So now we have 2, now we have 3. In the bottom left, I can see 10 seconds left on the timer, so I'm just going to go forward. And the correct answer was Canada. When you're done with all of your questions for the competition, it's going to label first, second, and third based off of points received. The last important feature I want to show you is survey, which is kind of similar to competition, at least visually. Functionality, there's more you can do in survey. As you can see right here, I can start with multiple choice, or I can go for the word cloud, Q&A, ranking, open-ended text. A lot more you can do in survey. However, in a survey, there is no correct answer. In a survey, you're just trying to acquire data. So you can already see on the right side, you get some more survey settings, still some multiple choice questions, but for this one, I actually chose ranking. So they can rank which unit they want to focus on. Survey and competition are the only activities where you're able to add more than just one question. In survey, you can add many types. This is what it looks like in present mode. I can simply leave this up so I can see surveys completed, surveys being underway. I made this anonymous because I just want to see the pulse of the room. I can tell it's anonymous in the top left. Students aren't going to be following along with me, but if I go to the responses tab, I'm able to see how students are answering based on the percentages.